Welcome to the quirky, clever, chaotic world of Cattywampus. My name is Adina Maynard, oncology nurse turned game developer and creator of the brainy word game Cattywampus. The purpose behind Cattywampus is both professional and personal. As an oncology nurse for the last 15 years, I've cared for thousands of patients going through chemo and radiation. They've dealt with brain fog and chemo brain. You probably know someone that fits that description. In the world of cancer survivorship, there's a lot of talk about physical recovery, going back to the gym, going for walks. There's a lot of support for emotional recovery, going to see a counselor, being around other survivors. But there is very little being done to fill the mental gap in recovery, and that has resonated with me in my 15 years as a nurse. Personally, Alzheimer's and dementia is very near and dear to me. My grandmother and mother-in-law both had it before they passed. My mother currently is declining in ways that are incredibly difficult to watch. I know I'm not alone. The United States spent $700 billion last year in dementia and Alzheimer's care, and thousands of people search daily for how to improve brain health and how to stay sharp. I know I'm not alone. Sorry. Sorry. No, I think, there we go. Okay, we're gonna go back here for a second. The good news is that the emerging research is showing that there are things we can do today to help stave off diseases like dementia later. One of those things is keeping your brain engaged and learning new things. Let's take a look at the problem with mobile gaming. Casual games feel like junk food. Brain games feel like homework. Cattywampus is the sweet spot in the middle, a term I've coined, productive play. Productive play is fun that fuels the brain. It combines the sweet spot of entertainment and educational games and rewards players with engaging fun with cognitive engagement. Cattywampus, when I first set out to create Cattywampus, I set out to create a game I would want to play. I was sick and tired of downloading games and realizing the challenge had left before the tutorial ever ended. While anyone who loves a good word game or brain challenge will love Cattywampus, our primary customers are women 35 to 65 years old. These are busy, smart, productive multitaskers, and they dominate in mobile gaming and have the highest lifetime value of any genre in mobile gaming. Yet their core needs, fun that feels good and does good, productive play, remains overlooked. So let's take a look at the numbers. If you look at Cattywampus simply as a word game, our goal is to attract 5% of the market within 5 years, which leaves revenue of $105 million. It should be noted that this slide and the next one focuses only on income and revenue from in-app purchases and subscriptions. It does not include ads. However, if you look at Cattywampus from a broader perspective through the lens of productive play, where Cattywampus intersects with word games, brain games, puzzles, and strategy games, you see that revenue balloons to $370 million. Cattywampus went live in June of last year, and 6 months in, we had 8,000 downloads and 3,300 monthly average users. There are 4 ways we monetize Cattywampus. We have our subscription model, which is the OGC, commonly known to our players as the original Gamester crew. We also have in-app purchases and some ads. I'm not a big fan of ads. And then our 4th option is to have a sponsored game, Catty Classic. That cannot happen until we hit 10,000 daily average users. We have a core team that's working on Cattywampus right now besides myself. We have a project manager. We have a lead developer who works full-time. We have a part-time developer, Matt, who would love to come onto the project full-time, and I am diligently working on that. We also have key collaborators. While my team is small and agile, we could not do this by ourselves. God has given me a vision for Cattywampus greater than anything I could have ever imagined when he planted this seed years ago. So our roadmap and vision, we do have Clash. So Cattywampus has 2 game modes currently. We have Catty Classic and we have Carefree. We can talk about those more in detail later if you'd like. Clash is our 2-player mode, currently in beta, set to launch end of first quarter 2026. We are also looking to grow the Cattywampus community, scale internationally, and have a Spanish version of the app, which will tap into another 300 million mobile gamers. We are currently raising $1 million to scale Cattywampus, a live app with early adoption and proven engagement, all to make Cattywampus the go-to app for productive play. Thanks. Dun, 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 dun.
On. They'll figure it out. So I like this. A couple of user-based questions. I'll pass them. I can take it back later. Of your 3,300, everybody's paying?
No.
No. What percentage?
We probably have about 1% paying.
And how did you launch it? What was your, did you just put it in the App Store and then advertise, or?
So we originally, when we launched, we advertised for the first 10 days. We advertised on Google and we advertised in Unity and Apple. Well, no, we didn't advertise in Apple. I take that back. Apple needed us to jump through a couple more hoops. And after 10 days, we decided to stop running ads. It was a soft launch. We took a look at the numbers, figured out where the churn was happening, if you will, and took 2.5 months to do what we call the reset. We gave the game a facelift. We fast-tracked Carefree, which is the timer-free version of the game for those players that didn't like the timer. We revalued the token. We added power-ups. We created an interactive tutorial. We did a bunch of things in a very short amount of time. Started running ads again in mid-September, and then stopped early December to, one, I could not compete with Target, Starbucks, and Amazon during the Christmas season. We have a very small marketing budget. And 2, we still need to improve our first-time user experience, which is what the team is currently working on now.
So I'm going to connect all the way back to where you started as an oncology nurse.
Yes.
How are you connecting to that demographic, community, patient set? How are you laser focused there, if that's the real intention, not general game users?
I would not say I'm laser focused there because I don't want it to feel like I am targeting an already vulnerable community. It is a resource. It is a tool to help maintain and grow your mental acuity. So I haven't necessarily niched down to that. You know, we just launched 6 months ago. So there's, you know, as you saw, our big team of, 2.5 full-time people. So I have not.
So my general feedback then on the pitch is if you're going to start in the medical community, but there's no real data or user base in the medical community, I'd reframe the problem a little bit, because it sounds like if your initial thoughts or target were chemo brain, dementia, that sounds very healthcare, and there's not a lot of healthcare ties after you told that first story for me.
Okay, thank you. That's appreciated.
So you were great, I thought. There were 3 really good moments, 3 really standout moments to me when you were talking. One is when the AV betrayed you, you stayed in there.
Yeah.
Right? And I want to tell you something. When you're talking in the future and your AV betrays you or your slides are screwing up, the crowd does not think it's your fault. They're on your side. Stay cool and keep going. That's what you did. Right? That was really good. The second really good moment was your chart that showed user growth. Right? You should start with that. Okay? That's a good chart. Most people don't have that chart. You should start with that. The third really good moment is when you said, God's given me a vision to go do this. It's kind of cool, wasn't it? Yeah, did y'all feel that when she did that? Yeah, right? That was really good. And I'm totally with Shante on this, that the whole cancer windup led me in a really wrong direction. Okay? My question to you is this. Why are you raising money? If this thing is going to grow the way it could grow, and you take on $1 million in investment, you're going to have to make it enormous for it to ever be of any value to you, right? And so I would really challenge you on, like, that's a lot of money to raise. Why do you need that? Like, what's really the point of that? And what would it look like if you didn't do that? Those are the questions I would ask. Okay, well, that's good. Yeah, I suppose you do. But like, I mean, like, I think that's going to be hard to raise that much money. I really do. Yeah, cool.
Hey, stranger.
Good to see you again.
No idea Harold was going to be here today.
I saw Adina on the list. She heard me speak in Columbia, I think, a couple of months ago, and so we've talked a little bit. So I'm going to ask different questions. So for me, and this is so interesting because you see these pitches and the experience of a presenter. I did not think AV betrayed her. I thought you froze and forgot what you were going to say, which is why when Juan advanced, she's like, let me go back because I have to tie it in. So if that was me as a presenter, I thought you froze. And so that just becomes a practice of knowing generally what you want to say. If anyone wants to do pitching, please do not memorize your pitch because then you will forget something and then you freeze. Instead, look at the slide and say, okay, on this slide, I've got to cover this generally. So I do think that was that. So that's pitch feedback. You noted in the revenue model that you want to target 5% in 5 years. I strongly encourage entrepreneurs not to pick seemingly arbitrary numbers because it's like, you go on Shark Tank. If I just capture 1% of the market, then this. And it's like, my immediate next question is, excellent. How many companies have 1% of the market? So for that, when you say we're going to capture 5% as the goal, my question is, how many companies start a game and last longer than 5 years? And then what percentage of the market do they own? And then from there, I'm going to say, okay, based on that, what are the inputs they have? Do they have a team of 3 or is their team 30? Do they raise $40 million? Are they building out of Stanford? Are they, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? So just try and think through that piece. And then the last thing I'd have is just more so thinking about the product itself. In building this, I think you said like, we're a small team. 2.5 people is bigger than everyone else that has presented this morning. Yeah. Combined.
You guys would totally win if it was a fight.
Right? And so I think that right. And so I think that it's important to recognize like that's incredibly resourced in a day where AI can do X% of the lifting. You've got people who believe in the vision. You say they would want to come on. Like that's a good bit of people. And so from a mindset standpoint, I'm pushing you and anyone else who's building in here to think about that's a level of abundance in your early days, pre-funding. How can we move faster? And so I think that comes with niching down and saying, cool, we're going to focus on moms who are doing this, or we're going to focus on this particular geography, or we're going to do live games. I was just, a friend of mine did the HQ Trivia documentary. HQ Trivia was craziness because there was a live every day, everyone tuned in. There aren't any games like that anymore. And in a world where, as someone said earlier, we're lonelier than ever, maybe this is an opportunity for these 55 to 65-year-old women to all join in at 10 a.m. to see who can solve the most words from 10 to 10:01. And you're doing these games every 5 minutes. And so you're creating community and it's dynamic leaderboards. And like, that's just off the top of my head though. But like ultimately try to think about what creates sticky engagement because 41% of monthly active users are still from downloading it, but you're a daily game. So how do you like create that flywheel? So those are some of my thoughts on what you prepared for us today.
You had 2 sets of questions. Do you want to say anything to either of them?
Do you want to say anything?
Repeat the questions.
There
was a lot there.
I
was intrigued.
I was just giving feedback, but I think she's giving me the opportunity to use some time to speak to potential users for another 10, 15 seconds.
So hold on, I want to say something. Will everyone please download the game, please? We all do that? Everybody download. Seriously. Yes. You already have?
I have.
Okay.
So this QR code takes you to our investors website, but Cattywampus. Cattywampus is on the App Store and Google Play. So this is why this is very important if y'all would be willing to help, because we are literally in the midst of redoing our first-time user experience. We know there are issues. Harold knows there are issues. He was frustrated in the beginning. That phone number up there is my cell phone. You can text me, you can call me, you can email me. Any feedback and all feedback is great. A lot of it is going to confirm what we already know, but your feedback is absolutely invaluable right now.
Okay, so my last piece of feedback was I scanned that and I was like, oh, it's not the game. Got to put the game up there. Like anytime people see this slide, which is wonderful, got to see the game.
And that's I change the QR code depending on who I'm talking to.
So since this was more of an investor pitch.
I think investors to invest like to touch, play, and feel. So if you are sending me to a pitch deck that I get, I think this month alone we've gotten 2,000 plus pitches.
Wow.
If you send me to a pitch deck, I'm going to immediately click off. So it doesn't really matter. It's like literally, oh no, test it out, see it. Did you like it? I personally like word games. So you would have kept me there for a little bit, and then that gives me more things to chew on than another pitch deck, which I can easily get from you if I'm really that interested.
And the other piece is that you have 100 potential users in the room. There may be 3 investors that are like in. So get the users, so then the next time you do this, it kind of compounds.
Yeah. Thank you.
You got something quick? All right, let's go. Thank you, Adina.